G'day, guys. Stephen Evans here, and I'm here with Ryan McIntosh.
G'day, guys.
And welcome to the second Macrocosm. Oh, fuck. And welcome to the second Macrocosm podcast.
That's fucking staying in there.
Yeah. Today we're going to review and talk about Iron Man, but first we should talk a little bit about why and how we chose the name Macrocosm. So let's get into it.
Yeah, I think that's a good place to start off. We kind of left it out a little bit in the last episode. Should have been a bit of a topic, but we'll do it here now. So I think we kind of wanted we were aiming to get a topic that was broad about like everything, you know what I mean? Like looking for an overview. What do you think?
Something like that. All inclusive, or like, because we don't know what we're going to talk about. So it could be, just anything. So we're like, yeah, that's sort of what led us on to the Macrocosm. I don't know how we actually found it though. How did we? I think
because we had name ideas and we kind of like was edging on the side of what was the name? There was like tangential. We liked the idea of that because of like subtopics.
It was trans-dimensional tangents.
That's the one.
That was
our runner-up. Yeah, that's a tongue twister. Macrocosm kind of is, but it's a bit more hard. It's like cutting.
Yeah, it's one word and it's simple, to the point.
And we kind of stumbled across it, didn't we? There was like, because one of our practice eps, I think we did 7 or so of those practice eps, but in one of them we discussed, coming up with a name for the final, because we're actually going to start properly doing this. And we kept talking about it, looking up syllables, different synonyms, different words that meant the same thing.
Yeah.
And it took a little bit, but we ended up stumbling.
Also, we're really into like the idea of like dimensional, like universe, something relating to something bigger than ourselves, or
just that is like all encompassing everything, just it can be a word used for everything.
Yeah,
which is nice. It's so broad, which is perfect for us, I think, because we talk about heaps of shit, and I think that now's a good time. We're just going to quickly cut into that earlier said podcast, and it'd be like a quick little clip, and then we'll jump back.
Yeah.
Ooh, I do like that. Yeah. I like bloody macrocosm.
What is that?
Everything that exists anywhere. Macrocosm.
Macro.
Search that macrocosm. That sounds cool. I don't know why that's got a ring to it. In my head, it's standing out. It might not be the choice, but it macrocosm. Ooh, that sounds nice.
Macrocosms? Or do we just call it macrocosm?
Oh, yeah, because you don't.
Has anyone else got that?
You don't call it. You wouldn't call it the macrocosm. It would be the one word capital macrocosm. Yeah.
I like that.
Yeah, let's have a look. Let's see if there's.
I got dictionary meanings.
I can see a macros podcast, but no macrocosm.
Yeah.
Well, I like it, man. The more I say it, the more I like it.
Yeah. It's one word. It's catchy. It's not used very often.
Yeah, exactly. And it's weird. Yeah, I like that part.
It's weird. And you have to look it up to know what it means.
Yeah, but what is that? What is that word? What is that?
There are videos titled Macrocosm, but not like a YouTube channel. No, I think we're good.
Oh, that's cool. That's cool. Yeah, no, I'm just reading on micro and macrocosm, the difference.
Micro means what?
So, where the part reflects the whole and vice versa. Yeah. That's weird. All right. So, macrocosm and microcosm refers to a vision of the cosmos where the part reflects the whole and vice versa. So, like macrocosm, microcosm, there's like, you can imagine they're like a picture of the same thing, but one is the micro, the absolute on one end of the spectrum, and the macro is like on the complete other end of the spectrum, but they represent the same thing. That's weird. No, that's a philosophy bloody description. So that's just people thinking.
When I first Googled it, the dictionary meaning of macrocosm is the whole of a complex structure, especially the world or the universe, contrasted with a small or representative part of it.
Which would be the microcosm.
No,
Yeah.
that's macrocosm.
No.
Oh, yeah, contrasted to the microcosm.
Yes,
yeah.
exactly. Because
So-
you can't have microcosm without macrocosm. I think that's the
So
point.
it says
the words
contrasted
are
with
connected.
contrasted with a small or representative part of it.
Yeah,
And
exactly.
that's us.
Yeah.
We are that small part.
Mate,
That's us, you and
I'm
me.
fucking settled. I've got to be honest.
Yeah.
Have
I'm
you
done,
settled?
Jay. Yeah.
I think we've done it. Dude, I didn't think we'd find a name.
Jeez.
I don't think.
I'll let you edit that in.
Let's do that. Let's
Write that down. Put fireworks around it.
Yeah, that's getting highlighted in red.
And bold. Got apostrophes. Got exclamation marks.
I can underline that bastard. Yeah, all right. That's the name. The Macrocosm Podcast. No, not the.
Yep.
It's Macrocosm
Macrocosm.
Podcast. Yes. Yeah.
Yeah, no, they.
It's Macrocosm Podcast.
I
I like
There's
that.
so much like philosophy and shit in that.
Because
exactly.
because it's got to have a macro, you got to have a micro. We like the micro to the macro of the universe.
Oh my god, that's so good.
Ooh, I can't believe it.
Oh my god, that's it. We're done.
And we're back.
Done.
That was fun.
Yeah.
Not that we heard it, but I hope you guys enjoyed it.
The magic of editing.
Dun dun. A look behind the curtain. So that was that's going to be weird. I wonder how the difference between recording quality that was to this one, even though it was not that far away.
Did you want to read out what the word macrocosm means? Do you want to?
I think that's a good idea,
Bring that up,
macrocosm, because it's like a nice little definition.
Yeah, maybe just the first sentence or so from the wiki. Or that looks like a good one.
Yeah, I think that. So we'll go, because obviously macrocosm comes with another word, microcosm. They're you kind of can't have one without the other.
Yeah.
So macrocosm and microcosm refers to a vision of cosmos where the part, microcosm, reflects the whole, macrocosm, and vice versa. So that's a nice, crisp, it kind of like the small it's a part of the big because it's made from the big, but it also reflects this, like you kind of have, it's a relationship between the both.
Yeah, it's almost like yin and yang, you know, just
Oh, yes. Yeah.
that kind of
I love how, sorry, just a quick thing on yin and yang. I love how a lot of people think it's the good and the bad, but it's more than that. There's the good and the bad, but there's the bad within the good, which is the little white dot in the black, and then there's the good within the bad, which is you got it all. It literally like there's
everything. You got to have both. You can't. It's a balance, you know. It's a balance between not just good and bad, but anything.
Well, if you didn't see the light, you wouldn't have the dark. There's just the way it is.
And I mean, it's like we were thinking like we like the word tangent, and this sort of relates to who was it? It was Pythagoras who come up with this idea.
Yeah.
And Pythagoras and tangents, it's really cool.
It's all kind of connected. It felt like an epiphany to us.
Yeah, it's like, wow, this is like,
Because Pythagoras, it's like, just all to do with, there's not algebra, there's the trigonometry, all to do with that type of shit, It's kind of going on tangents through our heads. We're thinking like fractal conversations where you start off in one topic and you just go down the rabbit hole and into many different topics, and
Yeah, and also like with our logo, we use those trees, what are they called? The fractal tree, because also macrocosm relates to like, what does it relate to? But like fractal patterns are like the idea of macrocosm and microcosm, because the further you zoom in, it's just like self-replicating, it's the small is part of the whole thing, and it's all one. Yeah, it's very, very deep.
So and it's not to pat ourselves on the back, but it does feel that way. It felt like a nice because we're just trying to find like two words that went together, and then we found this one word that was like succinct. It was perfect.
Everything.
Really. I think that. Yeah, hopefully you guys enjoyed that little snippet of us.
Yeah.
I think that's probably a good time. We should move on to talking about Iron Man. What do you think, Stephen?
Yeah, let's do it. And maybe if we've got some time, we might discuss something else after. We'll see how we go.
Yeah, we'll see how we go after this. That sounds good. So we'll start off with obviously Iron Man, 2008
Yeah, well, a long time ago.
Yeah, that's. I was in year 8. Fucking hell, Jesus
Well, I would have
Christ.
been year 9, I guess.
Year 9. Yeah.
Yeah,
Far
wow.
out. I'll just read the quick little
yeah.
one sentence. What do they call that? Synopsis or whatever.
Yeah, synopsis or plot.
Plot. So here we go. After being held captive in an Afghan cave, billionaire engineer Tony Stark creates a unique weaponized suit of armor to fight evil. Now, if that is not a quintessential bloody hero, all you needed to say was Iron Man, and then that sentence, and I'm in.
Yeah, I mean, like, straight away, my initial thing was, 'cause I was having issues with audio, so I quickly paused it right at the start. And I'm thinking, wow, that looks so old compared to, like, what now? Marvel now. It's like got that grainy, that's like grainy. So, and he's so young.
I was thinking the same thing, like the way he was walking and strutting and acting, like it was just like, because he was trying to be Iron Man. He wasn't yet Iron. Like I'm talking about the actor playing Iron Man.
Yeah.
So in the end, there's no one else but him as Iron Man. But that's not that yet. It's he's still trying. He's still like, I've got to win the audience. Yeah. You could kind of notice it.
Because I believe this is Robert Downey's like first big movie since like previously he had issues with in his younger years with drugs and all that sort of stuff. Guy had issues with his father, and so when they hired him, they only paid him something like $10,000 or something because they couldn't trust that he was going to be reliable.
Yeah,
so,
they weren't sure if he would actually make it on time to set and lots of things. So they had to, pay him a lower wage to kind of encourage him in a weird way. Although that
just
to
kind
us,
of backfires,
that wouldn't be
wouldn't it?
encouragement, would it?
Yeah, I'd be like opposite. I'd be like, fuck you, I'm not working for that.
I'm not worth that time.
And so after that, he was paid in the second month millions. So he definitely earned
made up for it.
Yeah, he earned his.
Earned his keep.
So what happens first off?
So let's it opens up with fucking Akka Daka, good old AC/DC, buddy, Black and Black.
That song will forever. Yeah, that will forever be Iron Man when I hear that song, so nostalgic and just
nostalgic. Yep, and they're driving through the desert in a military convoy.
So while they're in the truck, though, they're in the thing. I thought it was a great way to introduce Tony Stark, and his self-importance, like taking selfies. The way,
how he holds,
he's arrogant.
He's more important.
I'm more important. Like that is.
But also, he really played young. You know what I mean? Like silly, just carefree.
Yeah, he's still learning.
If you put it that way, about himself a bit. Self-absorbed, which is to be expected if you you grew up like that. I could understand.
Yeah, exactly. And then so straight into action. Bombs going off. Car flips
straight
over.
To bloody hell. He's like shaking, and I love he's just getting out of the truck, and he's shaking. He's thrown about
There's one bit just before that where the soldiers get out to go and defend him, and he's like, "Give me a gun." The guy just walks out and gets out. He's like, "No, give me a gun." Just like this. So he can defend himself. He doesn't trust him.
I think that's accurate as well, because there's no fucking way that they would give them a gun, because he's more likely to go out and try and defend himself and get shot than he is to stay inside the truck. Like that is realistic in a way.
Yeah, I mean, you don't give the priority person even though they can use a gun, they're not trained in this kind of battlefield. At most, maybe leave them a handgun.
Yeah, exactly.
So then he gets out. And then he's sitting behind a rock. He gets his phone. He's about to type something, isn't he? He's trying to, message for help or whatever.
Yeah, whatever that is.
And then you see a missile land next to him. That's
bloody lands 2 feet away from him.
And it was the same Tony Stark Stark Industries.
And he notices on it, exactly, Stark Industries. And he's like, that is obviously the fuel to the fire a bit later on.
And then we get the title card, the Iron Man logo comes up, doesn't it?
Yeah. So it flashes back to a couple weeks before or something like that. It didn't say that, but it's a flashback.
Yeah, you pick it up.
And then it does that cool intro to Stark Industries, and it it doesn't just tell you; it shows you
his whole
who
life
he
and
is,
who he is.
how he's grown up, but in a cool like intro as like a promotion for Stark Industries, which is really cool.
Yeah, I mean, it was for
Because
he was receiving an award, so
yeah, exactly. Yeah, obviously it's gonna be blowing smoke up his butt. So,
that was the thing to like. This is why he's won it and all this shit.
But it's the first Iron Man movie, like it's our introduction.
Yeah,
to,
and
so
to us, the
yeah.
audience, it's a good way to do it without being obvious about it. You know, it's tying it into the story.
And that's when I noticed because all in the clips and stuff. That's the first time I noticed. I'm like, look how long his hair is. Like, because nowadays he's got like a much shorter haircut. There he's like got it like slicked back because he's got fucking long hair, man.
I'll tell you history about it. He's a weapons manufacturer, inventor.
Oh, yeah.
His dad was as well, so his dad's died, he's taken over, all that sort of stuff.
Yeah, continuing on.
So that's when we first see Rhodey, or what's his name? Rhodes.
Rhodes, yeah, Rhodey. But so that's meeting Rhodes, who changes actor in the second one.
James Rhodes, and they call him Rhodey.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's a shame. Like, I really liked him. I don't know why I don't like the new Rhodes, really. It's a bit.
I think I only don't like him because I like the first one, It was replacing. They shoved someone else in that place when they didn't need to. But maybe they did. I don't know why they changed. Wonder why they did have to change.
Yeah, so Rhodey is up on stage and saying that he was won the award. He's like, the award goes to Tony Stark.
Yep.
He looks over at Obadiah, which is another character like Tony Stark's second in charge, I guess. And then so he goes up and accepts the award on Tony's behalf and says, and he's like, Tony is always working, all this crap. But no, he's not working. He's at a money casino.
Fucking casino.
Casino with some hot girls, blondes.
Getting them to blow on his dice while he's about to throw it. Presumably lose some money.
Again, reaffirming Tony's arrogance and self-importance and selfishness.
Yeah.
And at that point I wrote down just love his humour and his personality.
Yeah, just like the way he is, the way he holds himself.
He's
just like full of himself, just like, I don't know.
And he's a bit like that in real life, Robert Downey Jr. From interviews I've seen. He seems like that. So I guess his humour comes through into the movie.
And that's right around where we first meet Happy.
Yes, it is, because he walks out to the car.
Jon Favreau, he is the director of the movie. He's the only reason why Iron Man started. He funded it.
I didn't know that.
He's the reason why we have the popular MCU today. That one guy. And watching it and just him being this background character, being this fucking...
Yeah.
Not background, I guess he's a bit more on screen than
you only see him a couple times, but... A few
times, but the few times you see him, he's always like a laughing, he always has a quick little comment and he always pays out. Like, he's the one that puts Iron Man back down a step.
Yeah,
you know what I mean?
They're back and forth and
Yes, so played that very well.
But you're talking like when Tony walks out to the car, or
he's walking out to the car,
and then the reporter comes up to him.
The reporter who we see a bit later on as well. We kind of knew she was important.
Yeah,
because
So what happens there? That's when he ends up hooking up with the reporter, doesn't he? Straight after that.
Yeah, but he doesn't listen to her.
No.
Right, what she's saying.
No,
she's saying about the weapons are being sold to blah, 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 in one ear, out the other. He's just trying to get her in bed, essentially.
Which he does.
He then does.
So it goes...
Wake up in the morning.
Yeah, and that's really cool. That's when they do it, like she wakes up, Tony's not in the bed, and they do a big zoom out. They zoom right out and you see the whole house.
The whole house on the mountain.
And you hear Jarvis's voice for the first time.
Yes,
saying good morning,
Jude Law.
and the weather is this and that. And yeah, that's really cool. So she gets out, walks around, and then we end up with...
meeting Pepper Potts. Bloody Gwyneth Paltrow,
Yeah, and she's got...
And I got a little note I just want to put which I wrote it down a bit later, but Gwyneth Paltrow is really good actress. Everything she did in this, there's an emotional scene a bit later on that I thought I believed every fucking second of it. I don't know. I thought she was great. Terrible person. Good actress.
That's exactly what I was going to say. She did a fantastic job in the movie here, but I don't like her as a person. She's very weird.
Yeah. And she's bloody goop and all that bullshit, selling the vagina-scented candle.
She's very alternative.
Another word for that is retarded.
Anyway. Yeah, similar to that, yeah.
Yeah. But anyway, so that's meeting Pepper Potts. That's just cool.
She says something that I thought was quite funny there, because she introduced herself and she says, I do anything and everything Tony asks, including taking out the trash.
I didn't write that down. Yes, she
meaning,
did, so that's hilarious.
The reporter.
The reporter. Yeah. That's such a good, like, I love burns like that the person probably doesn't even notice.
No.
You know what I mean? Like, it's like, they're like, oh, yeah, okay, you're just the help. You know what I mean? But really, they just dissed you. Like, you don't even understand. Like, that's hilarious. That's a funny moment. Glad you wrote that down.
Yeah. So straight after she introduced herself, she goes downstairs and Tony's working on a car, I think.
Okay.
And he says something about, because she's like, oh, you've got a flight to go to such and such. And he's like, when is it? And she's like, 3 hours ago. And then Tony says, shouldn't doing my plane mean it waits for me? And then he's like, doesn't it defeat the whole purpose if it departs before you arrive? I thought that was quite funny.
Yeah, he's that kind of is again establishing what kind of a loose cannon, does what he wants type of guy. You know what I mean? Like that's the way he is.
And that's obviously he delivers it better than I did, but it's quite funny.
No, yeah, obviously, yeah. Go watch the movie, guys. Come on.
And then they go to the plane. So Happy and Tony are racing each other on the way there.
Yeah, they race there.
Where Rhodes has been waiting for about 3 hours, he says. Mm-hmm. And then we get to that goes to the weapons demo.
Alrighty, so they're heading back to Afghanistan. Well, not heading back, they're heading there because we're about to go back to the first scene in the movie. Yeah,
how we got to the explosion and all that.
Exactly. So he's doing a cool little weapons demonstration. So like before the actual event, he's like, strutting through, he's holding court. Like everyone's seeing him, noticing it. And he's got this, and perfect word, exactly. And he's got like this suitcase where he opens it up and he pulls his drinks out. You know what I mean? Like it's all like it's all for him. All this extra shit is just there for this one person. It's not helping anyone else.
No.
And then I think, you go into the actual demonstration. You should explain it.
So he says a few things about. So he says one sentence I like that he says is. He says, they say the best weapon is one that you never have to fire. And then he says, I prefer the weapon you only have to fire once. Yes. And then he goes, man, this is the Jericho missile. And then you see the missile, like, I don't know what it launches one big missile, splits into like hundreds of smaller ones.
Hundreds of small ones, and it's hitting and then it crashes down into the mountainside behind him.
Yeah, and then the shockwave comes through and just hits them all, like blowing their clothes everywhere. It's like really impressive,
I loved. I wrote a note here. I loved that when, like, how he's not even facing the weapons demonstration. He's telling like his audience, and he puts his arms facing him and he puts his arms up, and then when the shockwave finally hits him, he actually stumbles a couple feet forward. Like, they even put that in it. I thought that was awesome. That was just something I noticed.
Well, that would have been intentional because there wouldn't have really been a shockwave. So
no. That was all put in. That would have been just one of those air cannons, and then they would fake the feeling.
Yeah.
Yeah. Okay. Which that's obviously a pretty big part of the scene.
So and then this is quite funny. He's like, Rhodes says to Tony, do you want to come with me or whatever? And Tony's like, no,
this is the fun V.
Yeah, I'm going to the fun V. You're not invited.
But like the funny is like he jumps into the the 𝗠𝗿. It's like he's being a little kid. He raced to the door, slams it shut, and he's like, "Nope, I'm in the 𝗠𝗰𝗿. You can go in go back in one of the other ones or whatever."
Yeah.
Yeah.
And then we go straight into
Now
the
we're back
intro.
at exactly where we got introed, where, obviously 𝗠𝗿 having fun with the people inside the truck, taking photos, then
Selfies,
they
all
get
that.
shot at, and then they start getting shot at, and missiles and whatnot, and that's when he notices the Stark Industries
Again, yeah.
missile. And that's when he's making the phone call, notices it's beeping or whatever, and he jumps up to move away,
Yeah.
but he kind of gets blown backwards, because the thing goes off.
Yeah.
And you can see the shrapnel hit him.
Yeah.
Like you see the shrapnel hit his chest, which is obviously crucial to the movie.
Yeah, and then he starts. It's pretty cool. Like he's laying there, and you see the blood start seeping up through the clothes.
Yeah.
That was pretty
They
cool.
did it very well.
He does then pull his shirt back, and you see he had some sort of bulletproof vest on.
Yeah.
Stark Industries
But obviously
vest.
some went through.
Yeah. And then we cut to like a day sort of in and out of consciousness. He's going
Yep.
through surgery in some
Yep.
cave somewhere.
Somewhere, yeah. Obviously, we know he's in Afghanistan.
Yeah,
but
somewhere that they've taken
but
him
it's
to a
somewhere in
hideout.
So essentially, he's been kidnapped, essentially.
Essentially, yeah. Which comes very evident a bit later on. But it was pretty evident to start with. Like, why else are they shooting at him? They want him, obviously.
And then also saving his life.
Yeah, so then Tony wakes up to a big magnet stuck to him, and
Yeah, discovers the electromagnet
he's
thing.
got a tube up his nose. He pulls that out. He's like, what the
and then
fuck?
he's like all dazed, and he's tugging at the wires attached to the bloody
Yeah.
car battery, and it's
And
like,
then-
don't do that, don't do that, don't do that.
That's when we meet Yinsen.
I didn't know his name.
Yeah.
I call him the friendly doctor.
Yinsen. Yinsen.
All right, okay. So I'll just type that. That's spelt friendly doctor. Okay, done. All right. So he's obviously the guy that helped save his life.
Yeah, and he
And
explains.
he too is held captive.
Yeah, and he explains what happened, what the magnet's for. It's to keep the shrapnel away from your heart, the electromagnet in his chest,
Yeah.
hooked up to a car battery.
Yeah.
And
yeah,
then-
hooked up to the car battery.
Then the terrorists walk in. I just call them
Yeah, and
terrorists.
we
The
find
baddies.
them out there. The 10 rings.
Oh, okay, I didn't know that.
That's their group. Yeah,
Oh,
they're
so
called the
they
10
didn't-
rings.
oh,
They get
okay.
mentions a few times later on.
Yeah, so they walk in and they're like, we want you to build a missile.
And this is my I wrote a note here. They put in the standard "I won't help you" scene, so
Yeah.
just to show the audience that Tony is a good guy, but obviously with a little convincing, he'll always say yes. That's just the only way it works.
Yeah, so he says no. They torture him a bit.
Exactly, little convincing.
They take him outside and they're like, they show him that they have all of his technology. They have his missiles. They've been collecting all his ammunitions and weapons and all that stuff. And then they say to him, build us the missile and we'll let you go free. And
The
Tony's
Jericho missile, which is what he
and
showed off
and
earlier.
Tony's like, no. And then they go back
Yep.
inside and Yinsen, the friendly surgeon, gives him a bit of a pep talk and says like, we need to do something because they're going to kill us and all that stuff.
Yes, but he Stark agreed.
And
But
yes, he
like,
reluctantly
but
agreed, yeah.
yeah, obviously, but
After
he's
Yinsen said a few
gonna
things.
he's gonna be working on an escape plan. You
Yeah,
know?
so he
he's not
starts-
gonna just be.
So to us, the audience, he starts building something, but not specific.
Yeah, like
as
it
to
looks
what.
like it's technical, He's
Yeah.
like ripping stuff apart and welding and bloody melting, and he's doing a lot of stuff.
And this is quite perfect, Mike, right? Because this is showing his selfishness again. What's the first thing he builds?
His arc reactor.
To save his own life.
Yep. Yep.
So he
Yeah,
builds.
and I like how even the doctor didn't know the
Yeah.
Ginseng or whatever. He's like, and so what is this? And he's like, oh, it's just a miniaturized arc reactor.
Yeah, it doesn't say
and he
what,
puts it
it's
in his
just-
chest. No, you called it that. That's what he
That's
called
what
it.
Tony said, but I mean, Yinsen probably didn't know what that meant. He's
Oh
like,
no,
"What
no,
the
no!
fuck's
He
an
wouldn't know
arc
what that means. No. He could said Lego bricks.
So he
could just
uses
says nothing.
that instead of the car
Yep.
battery to power. The magnet's
Yep.
still in there at this stage. They leave the
Yep.
magnet there and they just hook up the arc reactor to that to power it. And that's when the doctor says to him, "You could run your heart for 15 lifetimes." And Tony says,
Yep.
or Tony's like, "Well, something big for 15 minutes." So that's when you're like,
exactly.
that's the suit.
You can tell where it's directing. I thought that was funny though. Like he's just like, or something really big for 30 minutes.
Yeah. So then he shows Yinsen the plans. And there's like multiple pages and he smooths them all out and it makes one picture, does all that stuff.
Yeah, there's like it's like the cutting scene of them building the crude Iron Man, the first
Yeah.
Iron Man suit.
So obviously they're not going to build a missile. They're building an Iron Man suit prototype.
Hint of the movie, dun dun.
Yeah. Not even the proper suit yet, just like built in a cave suit. Which
Yeah, the
is
crude
in a,
suit.
In a cave.
Yeah.
So
The Bat Cave.
Yeah, the Bat Cave. And the bad guys become a bit suspicious because they see him like making things for his legs and they're like, "What is he doing?"
Yeah, they're suspicious. They're like, they don't see the point in that and how that's building the
Which is when we meet the
missile.
This is when we meet the big boss, the boss.
The boss, exactly.
Yeah, the boss of all the baddies. So he comes in and they start to threaten Yinsen. They grab him and they pull him aside. They grab a thing from the hot fire poker or whatever, fire poker, and they're gonna like burn his face or whatever. And Tony's like, no, I need him. He's a good assistant.
Yeah, he saves his life. He keeps him around.
I need him. He's a good assistant. And then we find out the bad guys say to him, "You've got till tomorrow to build this missile."
Yep. So that's when they obviously quickly got into fifth gear. They fucking quickly working on an escape plan now.
Yeah.
Like really working on it.
Yeah, they like finish it in like 10 minutes.
Well, 10 minutes to us. Yeah, exactly. So
So they put the suit on.
Yep, getting the suit on. The big boss of the 10 Rings notice that they can't see Stark or Tony in the prison cell or whatever.
Yeah, on the
They can
camera.
only see the Doctor, and so that he sends some guys down into there, and that's obviously the beginning of the escape scene.
Yeah.
So they I can't remember exactly what happens there.
Yeah, so at some point they're doing stuff on the computer and it's taking a while and the bad guys are coming down the hallway and Yinsen's
That's
like,
right.
"I'm going to go get you some time." So he runs off to go and, I don't know,
Obviously
delay.
sacrifice.
Yeah, sacrifice almost. Then of course Tony's suit comes online.
And he starts fucking shit up, man.
Yeah,
he
like,
starts owning.
Smashing doors down and punching guys in the head.
That was a pretty cool scene where like the guys like huddle behind a metal door that they close and they just hear banging, and then all of a sudden he just starts bashing through and bending through. Well, that was a cool scene.
Yeah, then he smacks off its hinges and it hits some guy. And there's also another scene where he swings his arm at a bad guy and it hits the wall. It gets stuck in the wall.
Oh, and it gets stuck. Yeah, then the guy comes up and holds the gun point blank to his head and shoots him, but it ricochets and kills him.
And then Tony just looks at him like, "What the fuck did you do that for?"
That was retarded.
It's like, you dumbass.
Yeah. The chances of that ricocheting right into his head, though, like, come on.
Oh, yeah, but, it's Hollywood. You got to have a bit of...
Yeah, exactly. It's a movie.
Funny. It's a bit of humour. And then Tony catches up with Yinsen the doctor laying on the ground, bleeding out.
I think, isn't it just before that he kills the main guy?
Oh, yeah,
the main
just before
bad guy?
that. Yeah, the main bad guy.
But, like, he thinks he kills him anyway.
Yeah, the main guy
but, like, he shoots
a missile.
He shoots the... Yeah, I was going to say, he shoots the...
a grenade launcher.
The bad guy shoots that, but he then, Iron Man then...
Shoots his...
Iron Man, the crude Iron Man, I guess, shoots the roof above him and then, like, stones fall on top of him.
Yeah. And then we
yeah, exactly. Then we get to finding out that the nice doctor takes his last breath.
Yeah, and they have a bit of a moment.
Exactly.
And Tony gets out of the cave, flamethrowers everywhere. Because why not? Because that's cool.
Because that's an easy fuel.
And he also torches all the weapons that they had stored.
Yep, tries to light everything up.
And then he takes flight.
He launches himself to safety. Like I wouldn't say quite
Not really
flying,
it's,
but he launches.
It was like a rocket, like a toy rocket.
Exactly, perfect. And he, as on landing, he destroys the suit.
Now, on that, I mean, technically, it's okay in the movie, but technically he would have died.
I was going to say,
because
all of those parts crashing down, like they weren't protecting him in any way.
No, and even if he was naked, not wearing any suit, he's still like, that's a huge drop.
That's such an impact. Like, to go from moving however fast to still is such an impact.
Yeah, and that's just a nitpicky, but, you know.
Yep, Hollywood again.
Hollywood takes a bit of privileges, you know.
Yeah, just about.
I don't know how you would do it any other way. Like, what would you do instead?
I'm not sure. I like, how? I don't know. Because even in like where like compare it to like brutal like Deadpool or whatever, it's like they still do stuff that's unrealistic.
Oh yeah, even though Deadpool can't die, it's still he should be getting hurt more than he does, and like getting torn to pieces more. So yeah, that happens.
That's where we have the scene, the little montage of like Tony walking through the desert.
Yeah.
And, feeling helpless. He's got like his shirt wrapped around his head.
Holding his shoulder. Must have hurt his shoulder. Because I don't know why. I'm like, why is he holding that? But I guess he hurt himself.
Maybe he just crashed into the fucking ground.
He probably went that shoulder first into the ground or whatever,
or whatever they want to try and explain it with.
So then Rhodey comes around the helicopter.
Yeah, bloody... Let's go into a bit more detail of this scene. Bloody, he fucking... So he's walking all helpless and then choppers fly over his head, just whoosh. And he's like, oh, yes. And he's like, hey, screaming. He falls to his knees and then the choppers land, just like a little bit away.
And then he's doing the peace sign.
And he throws up peace signs in his hands. And, like, I felt that moment, man. Like, the whole struggle throughout the whole, like, he's just this brat, right? He's rich brat. And then he gets trapped and he goes through the struggle of his lifetime
just
to
got brought
escape.
Down to earth. Yeah, just brought right down.
And he's like, and then he's like trapped in the desert. And then finally, just what he was hoping for was the military. They fly over his head and he's like, just the relief that must have felt like. Not a movie, but like just putting yourself in that moment.
If you've been walking through the desert for days, no water.
If this was a doco,
that's... Yeah, so then the helicopters land, Rhodey gets out and he comes over and he's like, so how was the fun
that was a good perfect first line to say to that, like so how is it? And then he also they hug and he's like, next time you're riding with me, there's no doubt about it, I'm not letting you out of my protection.
But that doesn't mean they still could have got him anyway, even if he went in the other car. It's just funny. I
think all it means is that Rhodey would have died. You know what I mean?
That's true.
To me is the only thing that would have changed.
Yeah, that would have been sad.
But that there, just an overall note of this movie altogether is that's I started to realize right there why that is the movie that really started the fuel for MCU and like everything that follows. Even the other one, DC, like they would have seen this and the profitability, and then that started it all, and you really see it here because it's just so fun. You're powerful.
So they get back to land, I guess, or they take Tony back to the real world out of Afghanistan.
Yep, and what in order? What are the first things he requests? There's two things.
Yeah, hamburgers and
bloody
a
American hamburger and a press conference.
So
I like that.
Yeah, that's just before that. Though, Pepper's like, so we're gonna go to the hospital, and Tony's like, nope, schedule a press conference. Go on hamburgers first.
Yeah.
Yeah, so
Yeah, he's like, well, yeah, that wasn't the order. Yeah, he did say the schedule a press conference, but first on an American hamburger or whatever.
Yeah.
But he specified American. And I'm sure you could have felt an overtone of like, fuck yeah, America, like throughout the whole movie. Like, because like it's promoting war and like like not our country, but like them saying that our country.
they love their guns and all that sort of stuff.
Yeah, it was very like promotional in a weird way. But anyway.
But it's still also poking fun at it too, because like Tony becomes not wanting to be anything to do with weapons from Hitler.
Exactly. Which is right coming up.
Yeah, so he gets to the press conference.
He announces that they're ceasing weapons manufacturing.
Just before that, though, this is kind of important. They're walking in, and a guy from Strategic Homeland Intervention and whatever else the fuck it is.
I've written it down. Strategic Homeland Intervention, Enforcement and Logistics Division.
Yep, so they say all that as they approach Pepper.
Yep, so let's just keep that in mind.
Yeah, and Pepper's like, yeah, whatever, we'll do whatever you want, whatever, shut up, go away.
Now, can you remember back when you first watched this and thinking that was special? Can you remember at all? Like, because
maybe I thought it
obviously they're just introducing it.
Probably thinking it was somewhat to do with the plot, but not too much. They didn't really, because I didn't know S.H.I.E.L.D. or any of that.
Now, the only reason why I kind of am aware of it is because I used to play like all of the Justice League games and all of the Marvel games that you could like run around. You could be Spider-Man or whoever, you know.
It's obviously in the comics.
Yeah, and exactly. And I remember watching that and going like, "What the fuck is this? That's a mouthful." And then it kind of like, obviously, by the end of it, you realize you're like, "Oh my god, that's who that quirky little dude is. That's what he's like the button pusher for Nick Fury."
Nick Fury, yeah. So
which we get. We'll get into that
after. Yeah. So then Tony announces. Well, actually, he tells everyone to sit down. There's a sit-down conference. So that was quite funny. It's like, great, everyone, we're just going to relax here. We're going to sit down and whatever. And then Tony gives a speech about weapons being sold to bad guys. And he announces shutting down the no more weapons manufacturing. That's it. No more.
Yeah, that's it. It's done. They're taking it out until he says something along the lines of until he can see the right direction to take the company in the future or something like that. There was like some sort of like this is temporary. This is just to be able to so you can figure out the direction they want to head.
So obviously the company's second in charge, Obadiah, does not look impressed at all. He's like,
now what do they call him? What does Tony call him?
They call him Obi, or I don't know.
Yeah, Obi. There was another name. There was Staines, wasn't there?
Stain is his last name.
Yeah, exactly.
It's Obadiah Staines.
All right. Yeah, because they call him Staines, but they also call him Obi. But yeah.
Also known as Ironmonger.
Which we find that out.
They don't actually. Do they ever say that? Or he says the words, but he doesn't call himself that.
Maybe he doesn't. Okay.
Because ironmongering is a thing, I think, to do with weapons, or I think it means sells weapons, or so
it's selling to both sides and encouraging each side to fight each other because you're winning no matter what. You're making the money. It's like warmongering. That's the same thing. More profiteering.
Yeah. So iron being the weapons, I guess. So then they cut to Tony standing near the giant arc reactor. That's next, isn't it? Yeah. So Tony's at the arc.
That's right there.
The building size.
The original thing that gave him the idea to make the one in his chest.
Yeah, so this is like a building-sized big like ring that's like got electricity going through it and shit.
Yeah.
And that's where Tony he starts to tell Obadiah that he created a miniature arc reactor and it works like properly.
Yeah.
But Obadiah kind of already knew. He had a hint. Someone gave it away.
And Stark's like, who was it? Rhodes? Pepper?
Yeah.
And Obadiah was like, never mind how I know. And he taps his chest. He's like, show me.
Yeah, show me.
Like he already knew. And that's a little hint of
and as soon as
he's a bad guy.
And as soon as he sees that thing in Tony's chest, his attitude changed completely. You could see the greed in his eyes.
Oh, it was
You
like
can
a shining up,
you can
man.
literally see the greed. Mm-hmm. It was ridiculous. That was good acting too, wasn't it?
That was good acting. Like I was just about to say, I fucking hated that character, which means that guy is an excellent actor. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Bloody Jeff Bridges.
Just gives you the chills.
But you could tell that all the way through because, like, especially in the earlier scenes, they're just trying to show you that Obadiah is all about money. It's all he's
all about the
focused on.
numbers.
Just even down to his suits and the ties he's wearing, he just came across as like some rich dude. Like, just that's all his focus was. You know what I mean?
Even Tony, even though Tony's a bit up himself and all that, but this is like next level. This was ass. This was like bad. This was not like Tony's just like childish.
Exactly. He's innocent. He's innocent and naive, and that leads to arrogance. But that's not his fault. That's kind of just where he is.
Whereas Obadiah is like full on greedy, arrogant,
using. He's like
manipulative.
Yeah.
Obviously, he's been manipulating the company for a long time, selling weapons under the table, and which comes up later again.
It obviously, that's right. When it cuts to the 10 rings, the bad guys in Afghanistan, they found the remnants of the crude Iron Man suit.
I think I wrote that a bit later, but yeah, that's about then, isn't it? Yeah.
I was just about to say that's right near where they have the talk with strategic homeland intervention, enforcement, and logistics.
There's a bit more just before that. They cut back to Tony in the workshop, and he's laying on the bed like an operating table.
Oh yeah, okay, yep. They're seen changing it out.
Yeah, and he calls Pepper down to come help him.
Yep, no, you're right.
Doesn't tell that what until like the last minute.
No, it's just a game of operation.
Yeah, so he obviously has built a new arc reactor that's not made from scraps. One that's built from like with his technology and more refined, not so built in a cave, you know.
Yeah, exactly. Well, there was the cave, the crude version, just like, you know, welded together bits of chunks of metal that they could find, and now this is the refined, the beautiful, the glorious.
This is so funny though, because instead of explaining to her all the steps beforehand, he does it as he goes, and he's like, right, so I just want you to grab that wire and slowly pull it out. Slowly. So she starts pulling it out, and he's like...
And then don't touch the sides. And
so she does it once or twice, doesn't she?
Yeah, zaps him. And be careful not to pull it, and then as he says that, she pulls out the bloody magnet.
The magnet. He's like, oh, no, don't put it back in. And he's like dying, and she's like, what's wrong? And he's like, oh, nothing, just a cardiac arrest.
Yeah, just exactly.
And then she's like, all right. And then she's like, all right, no, put the new one in. And she's like, okay, everything's going to be okay, Tony. I'm going to fix it. He's like, shut up and just do it. Because she's taking her time trying to calm him down when he's like, cardiac arrest. And then she connects it, puts it in.
Yeah, connects it, puts it back in, he twists it back up, and he's like, see, now, was that hard? Or was that difficult? Or whatever? And she states, she's like, I'm never...
Again,
Exactly. Don't you? Yeah.
Don't you ever...
Yeah. That's funny.
Then he goes, then after that, the next scene, Tony goes to, I don't know, wherever radio works, and he just like,
tells him, Air Force, and
she's like, I'm planning something, I want your help, and Rhodes like, nah, fuck off, I don't want to be involved.
He wants none of it because it's not going to help the military. Fuck yeah, the military. Woo! That's all this is on his mind.
That's when I've written, Tony starts to plan the new suit, and then the baddies find the old suit.
Yep,
I think that's about them, and then...
No, you're right, you're right.
Then we get into Tony's
and we're presuming that they're going to try and recreate the suit.
Yeah. They found the limits. Yeah. And then we go to Tony's first flight test.
Right. Just so we had, just leading up to that, we had the montage of him building and having like little fails and like the cool, like this is where we first see the CGI kind of come to life. You know what I mean? We could first see like there was a scene where he's like showing his arm and he's like moving it up and down. And he's like twitching and he's like moving different things and he's like adjusting different, you know, whatever
I think
values in the computer.
I think he made the boots first, the leg parts.
All right. Sorry.
No, he must have had the hands too, because he used
them to hold up.
To stabilize.
I still think this was
So I've
But
written
yeah,
that. I've written that a bit prematurely, I think.
No, you're right, because he does the first
Yes.
indoor flight test
With only the boots.
with only the boots and the arms.
No,
Didn't
no,
he have
no.
the arms
no,
as
no,
well?
no. First time was just the
Oh,
boots.
yeah, no, sorry. No, you're right, because this is funny.
So he's standing there, right, with the boots on. He's like, all right, we're going to take this nice and easy, all right? I'm going to do 10%. That should be right, 10%. And then,
But keep in mind, like that. Keep in mind, like if you're looking at something like 10%, oh yeah, that sounds all right.
Yeah.
But you don't know the capability. 10% of what? 10% of infinity is still infinite. It's too much.
and then he's like, 3, 2, 1, smack, straight into the wall.
And the roof slash wall.
roof,
You know what I
yeah.
mean? He just like. And he flips and hits himself
Yeah.
and falls down, and that was quite funny.
And that's why he
And it was
goes,
done quite well.
yeah, and that's why he then builds the stabilizers to stabilize
Yes.
that.
Which is the arms, yep.
Yeah. But that's how you would do it when
And
you're
then-
building it.
and-
You wouldn't even think about the hands. And then
And then it makes sense because it's like, so first he needed the boots because he wanted to fly. Oh,
Yeah.
that failed. Stabilizers. All right. Well, now now I want a headset. I want to be able to see things. All right. Well, now I'm just going to connect all those things together.
so then we have a suit.
And there's the suit.
Yeah, but just
Exactly.
before, so he's working on the hand braces, and Pepper comes downstairs with, she's holding a box that's wrapped up in brown paper, which comes into play later,
Yep.
and a coffee on top. So she walks
Yeah.
down and she says to Tony, I thought you were done making griffins. And Tony's like, he's like, yeah, I have. This is a flight stabilizer. Completely harmless.
Yeah.
And then he
Yeah,
goes to
sure,
use
mate.
it. And then he goes to like use it or show or whatever, and it's like just explosion.
Yeah, it's quite powerful.
Smashes the windows.
And
Completely
then that,
harmless.
So now that all, completely harmless, smashing the
And
windows
then
and shit.
she says to Tony, Obadiah has been waiting upstairs for whatever, X amount of time or whatever he's been waiting for you. So then Tony goes
Yeah.
up, and they pretty much just talk about Obadiah saying that the company board, they want to kick you out, Tony. They want to file an injunction or whatever because you've got PTSD and all this.
Unless he gives them something and he taps his chest. He's like, unless they really need something to show that it's worthwhile keeping you around, kind of thing.
Yeah,
Really, what he's doing is threatening him. That's what he's.
Tony might not
he's
have picked that up, but yeah.
No, because he's just seeing his partner at Stark Industries. But what he should be seeing is the bad guy in a plot of a movie.
Yeah. And Obadiah's like, let's get our scientists to examine that thing in your chest. Let's
Exactly. Yeah.
let's do some tests and all this sort of stuff. And then we get to the second flight test.
Which is really the first flight. Like full test,
yeah.
isn't it?
Is it? Because he gets going and then he's like, let's just, no, don't start. It's a little bit after that. So obviously in the first test, the robot sprayed him with a fire extinguisher, even though he wasn't on fire. Yeah. So this time he's like, he says, all right, we're going to do another flight test. This time 1%. But before he does it, he tells the robot, he's like, right, do not use the fire extinguisher if I'm not on fire. And he's like, if you do, I'm going to like take you apart and sell you.
I'm going to repurpose you or something.
you.
Yeah.
So then 1%, and he flies around floats around the test area over the cars. He's like, no, that's not where I want to be. Not over the cars. Like hundreds of $1,000 cars.
Expensive cars, yep.
Like Ferraris and Lamborghinis.
Oh, just give me one of those cars so I could sell it and have a fortune.
Yeah, I know,
Jesus.
right? So at that point, then he puts Jarvis, the computer, in the suit. Or in the helmet.
You're absolutely right. That's what makes the suit incredible. Yes, no, you're right. That is first. Yeah.
So at this point, it's just just a metal suit. It's not coloured like you see, like
Yeah, and it's not our what we picture as Iron Man yet.
Yeah. So then puts it on and fires up Jarvis. Jarvis hasn't even had time to run tests or anything yet. And he's like, that's it, we're going for a fly. And then
Yep.
Jarvis is like, oh, it's not a good idea. And then Tony's like, sometimes you got to run before you can walk.
Oh, just the balls on this guy.
I
The
know,
balls
right?
to just fucking just do it to like, all right, I might die. Yeah, I might die.
And this is where
Yeah.
he goes for a ride. He goes up. He's like having fun. He's like, yeah, hey, and all that sort of stuff. Flying around. And he's like, all right, let's see how high we can go.
Yep.
So he goes up and up. And then the suit starts to get ice all over it. It's freezing up.
Yeah.
Gets ice, and then Jarvis cuts out. And then he obviously no more suit, so he starts to fall.
And that's where he's like, obviously this comes back in a bit, doesn't it? Where he realised going further up and further up, he needs like a mechanical thing to break the ice off. You know what I mean?
Yeah, well, he had some sort
of
he had some sort of thing that he used because he's falling to like break the ice. He had a little thing on the side of his suit. He twisted it and
it's
it
like
opened the flaps.
it like
or
popped
whatever.
up.
Yeah, that broke the ice off, and then Jarvis came to it the last second, of course, because
Of course,
it's a
as you'd
movie.
expect, because of Marvel. Yep, exactly. Thank you, Hollywood.
Thanks, Hollywood.
Yep.
And then he suddenly stops from going like falling so fast to again suddenly stopping like that would kill
Again,
him.
like, can you just imagine your brain inside it's already inside a casing and just sloshing around in there.
But just
and it
even without the suit, just imagine again like
splat.
yeah, you can't decelerate that fast.
No, it's impossible. But yeah, we got to get past this. It's a Marvel movie.
That's the only problem I have with Iron Man is that part of
Those
it. But there's
things.
nothing else. It's all good. So yeah, and then he obviously gets control again, and then he over the roof of his building. So he's like, I don't know, 30 centimeters off the roof, ready to land, and so he just cuts the engines. And then just smashes through the roof.
He smashes
through the roof onto his fancy car. And then he's laying there for a second or two. Still no fire. And then the robot gets him
Comes
with the fire
over.
extinguisher.
Yeah.
Sprays him with the fire extinguisher. That was hilarious, wasn't it?
Yeah. And then obviously, like, that's where he, I think that's the scene where he picks up, he like sees the gift that Pepper gives him.
Yeah.
The original arc reactor thing
so
for
it
his chest.
opens up the box and it's got the arc reactor all framed in a nice display case.
Glass box, display box, yeah.
Yeah.
And then,
Cuts from there. It cuts to the bad guys with the suit parts, trying to figure out how it works.
trying to figure it out.
They show Tony fixing the icing problem. So he starts talking to Jarvis about using different materials, like stuff that's on the satellites and stuff that, different materials.
Yeah.
So they obviously, and he does that, starts his factory building the suit.
Mm-hmm.
And I was like, how long is it going to take? And Jarvis is like, about 5 hours or something. So, and also Tony's like, because it changes the material, right? So then it's all solid gold. Tony's like, that's a bit over the top.
Yeah, a little bit much, isn't it?
Yeah, a bit much. So then he changes the colour and he's like, yeah, let's throw in some hot rod red, Bit of red, bit of hot rod.
Yeah, go on, be a hot rod red, why wouldn't you? Something that suits his personality in a weird way, doesn't it?
And while this is happening, there's a news report on the TV. There's some sort of event, like a social event, and they're saying that Tony's not expected to make it because he's been hiding for weeks or whatever.
Yeah, for however long. So he then dresses up and goes out, doesn't he? Just because it's almost in spite of them.
Yeah, because
of what they said.
Because they're like, oh yeah, no, you won't see Tony. Well, so you did.
So he bloody showed up, rocked up, fucking shows them who's boss.
In his Audi.
You know, sorry, just quickly, like, again, that's just shows, like, the kind of child mentality he has, like, hey, son, don't touch that. You know what they're going to do? Touch that. Yeah, this is how it works. You can't, unfortunately, it's inbuilt in all of us to, like, be inquisitive. You need to know why. You can't just be like, that's how it is. It needs to be like, yeah, but why is it like that? That's the point of this. So yeah, just seeing him be like, you wouldn't see him out there. He's, hiding away. So he's like, fuck it, I'm going to go strut my stuff.
Yeah. I mean, he wasn't hiding away.
Yeah.
He was building something. But
No, he wasn't. Yeah.
didn't know that.
What he felt was he had a purpose. Yeah. And they obviously,
Yep. So
Weren't
then
privy
he
to that.
goes to the event, and Shield approaches him again. Strategic
Yes, yep.
Homeland.
Now, what is? Sorry, you keep talking. I'm going to look up that character's name.
Okay. Yeah, I didn't write that down. So what happens there?
Agent Coulson.
Agent
Coulson.
Coulson, yeah.
Yep, all right.
So, yeah, they're at the event, and Tony sort of waves Shield off again. He's sort of like, yeah, whatever. I'll schedule an appointment with my assistant.
Yeah.
Whatever. He's not really thinking about any of that.
Because he doesn't know what they are. He doesn't he doesn't realize that he should be on their side.
Yeah, it's like, who the fuck are you telling me to
Exactly.
make appointments and stuff? And then that's when he has his moment with Pepper.
I was about to say that's when he starts flirting/falling in love with Pepper.
Yeah.
That's like that's them, having a moment. Then like, oh, I better go outside.
At some point though, before they must, because the reporter comes up to Tony. Oh, that's when he goes to get a drink.
They go outside, and he goes. They're having a nice moment, and he's like, "Oh, let me go get us a drink." So she's waiting for him there, and she stayed waiting there.
And that's when he goes to the bar, and the reporter shows the evidence that they're still selling weapons. Yeah, because he's just showing him pictures, and he's like, "When was this?" And she's like, "Yesterday, 2 days ago."
Yeah. Yep. And that's when obviously Tony forgets about poor old Pepper.
Yeah,
races out, finds Obadiah, confronts him in front of the paparazzi, the people taking pictures of them, and you can just tell. You can just tell how evil Obi is, like how he's because Stark confronts him with a direct question: "Are we selling weapons to the bad side, to the other side or whatever?" And he doesn't answer. You know what I mean? And that's just giving it away that it's a resounding yes.
But it sort of gives the impression well, of course we are. How else do you want to make money? Come on.
And he also throw Stark's dad under the bus, saying that we wouldn't have the atomic bomb if we didn't have him.
Yeah. Hang on, I've lost my spot. Here we go. I'm good now. Yeah. So while they're still talking, Obadiah tells Tony that he's the one responsible for the injunction to kick him out.
Yeah, that's right.
Yeah.
To kick him out of his own company, which almost sounds ridiculous.
So then Tony goes back home. I forgot all about Pepper, I guess.
Yeah, poor Pepper.
So Tony's doing something, and something comes up on the news, doesn't it? On the TV.
Yep. I was about to say that's the next scene.
Oh no, Tony's watching news reports on Afghanistan, and
so he's seeking it out now.
Yeah,
because now he's got his suit. He's looking.
Yeah, he's like, and after seeing the photos from the reporter, he's like, I don't want them selling weapons. I need to see what's going on. So that's why he's watching news reports.
And it just so happens that he now has a flight suit.
Yeah, it's all fixed, all finished. Hot rod red with gold accents. Just how you picture Iron Man.
And so that's isn't this where we get the full build scene?
Yeah. Puts the suit on and
the from start to finish, legs, boots, chest plate, arms, everything. We've got the full build scene. It's all coming together, and I'm sure you would have known this, but that whole scene is completely CGI.
Of course.
There's not a real seat, a real thing in that scene.
No, Tony's just standing on a green screen.
and exactly, he was placed in where and it looked bloody awesome,
so well
man.
Done. That is so.
I swear to God, it looked better than bloody Black Panther, man. Black Panther's heaps more recent.
That's the first time CGI looked so good to you had Transformers, but this was the start of good CGI.
But this was detailed up close kind of thing, you know. Whereas I guess Transformers is, but they kind of,
but it's not.
Transformers muddle it up with detail in a weird way. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
They kind of make it look like a shitload of pipes and electronic components between them, but you're not really seeing the detail in it. Whereas this was up close, slow mo, crisp, clean. They poured millions of dollars into it.
Yeah, it's just amazing what they can do, isn't it? Just
I'm scared of the future, man.
Yeah, just wait till they can
deep fakes and shit of people.
Yeah, when they can do a deep fake real time, because they can't do it real time.
No, there's no way, not yet.
Not yet. but just yet being the
Yet is the
preoperative
word.
Yeah.
Yeah. Yep. All right, so that's then he goes to kick butt in the village that's under attack in Afghanistan by the 10 Rings, which is doesn't have the main evil guy, but it does have the second hand man, I guess you call him.
Yeah, he flies over and does a big superhero landing.
Yeah, one that would destroy the soft gelatinous human that was inside of that tin can.
And probably put a crater in the ground and
Jesus, yeah.
So my note was superhero landing should kill him. Yeah, that was literally what I wrote. And then, anyway.
Yeah, but anyway, and back to it. Yeah.
But anyway, saves the family.
Yeah. Yeah, saves the family. But never mind the, 100 other bloody villages that got shot beforehand. But we'll just focus on this one surviving family.
Yep.
All right. And then...
So there's a scene there where he has a fight with an army tank.
Just before that, because that's after he'd taken care of the bad guy. Yeah. So he does a cool scene which I thought was where everyone's pointing guns at him, shooting him, and nothing's happening. But then his computer just like ting 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 and gets everyone kind of thing. And then he walks off and punches through a wall and grabs the henchman and rips him through. But the reason why I bring it up is because he leaves him behind for the villagers to fucking seek vengeance.
Throws him on the ground. So all the villagers are standing around, and Tony throws him on the ground and says, "Do what you want with him."
He wasn't living for much longer after that. There's no fucking way.
Over. They all surround him, get ready to beat the shit out of him.
That's when Tony flies off and gets pulled down by a tank.
Yeah, tank shell hits him and ruins his nice paint job. It's looking so good.
Just put that bloody hot rod red on there. Fuck.
Yeah, just got that painted. Do they have any respect?
Oh, imagine him parking his suit at the shops and someone bangs a trolley into it. Fuck.
You fucking scratched my suit.
Yeah. But yeah, and then that's the cool scene in that. You go into it.
With the tank still.
Yeah, with the tank, with the big ass fucking rocket launch, the fucking bang! It's like this big ass shell that flies past him.
And he dodges it, he just turns it out the way.
Yeah, like he's fucking Michael Jackson.
He's showing it's fucking slow. What is this caveman technology?
Exactly.
And then he shoots this tiny little rocket missile.
He literally may as well have thrown a Hot Wheels car at him. You know what I mean? Car. It's it's nothing. It's just a little
or a stone.
And then he walks away. You're right, a stone. I don't know why I picked Hot Wheels car because I pictured a tank. Anyway.
Yeah. And then and then Tony turns around, walks off, and then boom, tank's gone.
Fucking bang!
No more tank.
It's kind of like hinting at the first scene where where he's introducing the Jericho missile. He's not facing it; he's walking away, kind of thing. He's still this cool character.
Yeah. So Tony takes off into airspace, and it cuts to the military with roads, and they're tracking Tony. They don't know it's Tony,
but they don't know it's him yet.
They're tracking this object, and
and it's tiny. They presume it's an unmanned flying vehicle.
Yeah. It's just taken out like a town or whatever. Something's going on. What is this? And they turn to Rhodey, and they're like, "What are we gonna do?" So then Rhodes has a suspicion. He's not sure, but he has a suspicion. So he calls up Tony.
So he makes a phone call. Yep.
So he calls up Tony, and he says to Tony, he's like, "Is that you? Is that your technology? Is that something you've built flying on the radar?" Tony's like, "No, it's not me. Nah, it's all good."
No, I'm driving with the top down.
I've got the top down. Yeah. I'm just like, "What's all that noise?" And Tony's like, "Yeah, no, driving with the top down." And then he says something else, like he's going for a jog. And Raj is like, "Hang on, you said you were driving." He's like, "Oh, well, whatever." So then Rhodes goes to the rest of the military. He's like, "Yep, all clear, engage, take it out, kill it, whatever that flying thing is."
Yeah, and buddy, that's when he's like, and this is my exit, and he hangs up, and as he hangs up, he turns and dodges the missiles and shit.
Because there's 2 fighter jets now onto him, attacking him, engaging him.
And they're engaging, they're doing this little dance, this battle,
fighting for a bit.
And then all of a sudden, he's like, they can't see him, they can't spot him anywhere, the fighter jets. They're looking around, they can't spot him.
Tony, they're up in the air, and Tony, like, puts the air brakes on and flies backwards, and they overtake him, and then they can't see him anymore. They're like, where'd he go? Where did it go?
Yeah, the thing. They're not sure.
So then
they're like, all right.
Yeah, they cut back to the military. Mm-hmm. And then Rhodes' phone starts ringing.
Yep. But is
it's
it
Tony,
now? But first, is that when Rhodes called Tony first? Was it on his cell phone or was it on a military phone?
It must have been on the military phone, I guess.
All right. Now when he got a phone call back, he's calling his cell phone. Now, to me, that I feel like is kind of good because he's not going to confess on a military phone call that he is flying an unidentified unidentified object.
So
what I mean?
That's a clever.
And then he called his cell phone, like his personal phone, and
that's clever.
And he was like, Rhodes is like keeping it secret kind of thing, not revealing. And he's like, oh, guys, we don't quite know what it is. Should we be shooting at it? Like he changed his tone.
Yeah. While Tony's on the phone, and Tony's like, so Tony, Rhodes answers the phone. And, where are we? Hang on, I had it in my notes here.
Yep.
Yeah, so Tony calls Rhodes. Rhodes answers like, hi, it's me. It's Rhodes.
Yep.
And Tony's like, it's me. And then Rhodes like, who?
No, sorry. Because I had the subtitles on because like the terrorist talks, and the way he worded it, it was like he goes, "Hey Tony," he's like, "It's me," and he's like, "Oh, sorry." Like this is what Tony says. He's like, "Oh, sorry. No, I meant to say." It is me.
Yeah. Emphasis on
I thought that was good. Yeah.
It is me.
Yeah, I thought that was quite funny.
And then Rhodes obviously realised, goes, oh shit, that's Tony. The suit is Tony. And one of the planes turns upside down the other way, and the second plane spots the suit on the bottom of the plane. And he's like, there's a man-shaped suit. A man-shaped object. A
man-shaped suit, yep. So, and then that's when they encourage him to, dodge and roll and try and shake him off.
So Rhodes he doesn't tell the others who it is, and he just lets what happens happen. Because, like, what does he say? Like, what can he do?
You can't, because literally the government just throw him in jail after that. There's no...
Yeah, so, and then... They shoot Tony off the plane, and he ends up breaking one of the wings on the plane.
I think, no, because doesn't he gets shaken off,
he
falls backwards, and then
crashes.
One of the jet fighters come and hit him, passes through, and
not
then,
intentionally, it's all accidental.
Breaks the wing, and so that starts flying out of control, and the pilot pulls the ejector. What do they call that?
The ejector seat.
Ejector seat. I was on the right path. And he pulls that out, but there's no parachute, and
it's not working. Yeah,
it's like it's like jammed or something like that. That's what he says over the radio.
Spiraling down to the ground.
And then as that happens, it cuts back to the military, and they're like that's when Rhodes says, "Oh, we don't know who it is or what it is, and should we blah blah blah." And that's when the other guy's like, "It just took down one of our fighter jets. If you have a clear shot, you take it." He's like so emphatic. And then that's when he zooms down and catches. Well, not catches, but catches is the wrong word.
Yeah.
He fixes the forces the parachute.
So while he's coming down, Jarvis is like, "You're not going to make it. You got 2 seconds before you hit the ground." All this sort of stuff.
Yeah.
And then Tony pulls it last minute before the plane shoots him, because they re-engage on him to take him out while he's. But he saves the pilot, and that's it. And then is Tony still on the phone? I think he is.
What? Sorry,
Tony. He's back on the phone again to Rhodes just after he saves the pilot. Or did he ever get off the phone, or was he on the phone?
I think he was on the phone for that whole time.
That whole time.
Like the second time when he made that second phone call.
It was like a 10-second scene, but yeah, he's still
Yeah.
on the phone. And so then Rose is like, well, what do I tell everyone? What do I tell the world what happened? And Tony's like, training exercise. Isn't that the usual bullshit?
Isn't that
Training
the
exercise,
usual?
yeah.
Yep.
The usual BS, the training exercise.
And Rhodes is like,
not that
nah,
simple.
we can't do that. It's not
not-
that
it's
simple.
not that
And then
simple.
cut to
Press
he's
conference.
saying the exact thing.
Yeah, it was a training exercise. It went wrong and no one died. So Tony was right, smart ass.
So
God, this is
doesn't
funny. This is a funny scene because
Yeah.
obviously Tony's suit's all beat up and broken, and he's in his workshop with the robots all around him trying to pull the suit off.
yeah, that's right. Yeah.
And then what happens there?
And then that's when Pepper walks in and like the robots are like taking the suit off and like kind of like they're struggling because it's like the first time taking the suit
and
off.
it's all dented and broken and
Yeah, and he's like as she walks in, he like sees her, and the robots slow down as well, like they're like acting like he was like
Like
jerking
sheepish.
off or something. And he says, "Come on now, there's
seen worse."
worse things. Yeah, you've seen me doing worse or something along those lines." It's funny though.
and then yeah. So what
That's
happens?
Isn't that where we see that
cut.
Obadiah meets up with
Yeah,
the bad people?
Yeah. So he walks up to that tent and pulls up with all his squad and all his goons.
Yeah. And he tells his goons to stay outside, like giving the bad guys faith that he's they're not up to bad.
Yeah, like nothing bad here.
Yep.
So
And then,
they meet, and so Obadiah comes to see the old suit, what's left of it, what they've pieced together and all that. And the bad guy's like, I'll give you the designs, but you need to, what is this? No, he just offers them up, doesn't he? He's like, but
no,
you
he
owe
offers
me.
the designs up in promise to give me
Something.
an army of iron soldiers,
Oh, that's right.
something along those
And
lines.
then
Yeah.
Obi's like, nope, and he's like, who? You're not the one making the deal here. So Obi just like, I don't know, just uses that device, freezes him,
that
threatens him, and,
that sonic weapon thing.
yeah, and just takes all the stuff. Just
Yeah, and
takes
by
it
the
all.
time he walks outside of the tent, Obi's men have already taken the guns and weapons off of the terrorists.
And they shoot them all.
Yeah. As he's walking away, he's like tells them to wrap up, and that was it. He just goes and shoots them all.
And then
then,
obviously Obi's off to start designing a better, what he thinks is a better suit.
Yeah. Yep.
And then
So now, so Tony has suspicions, obviously.
yeah, so this, I believe it cuts back to Tony's in his workshop with Pepper.
And he asks Pepper to break into Obi's office for him.
Yeah, and hack the computer and get some information. And initially Pepper's like, no, I'm quit. I'm not doing that. I'm just gonna quit. I'm not, it's too much. But then Tony talks to her a bit and, says whatever to make her, and she
Smooths her
over. She agrees.
Because obviously
to do
she
it.
feels for him as well. You know what I mean? It's not just a one-way street. So
Yeah, he's like,
She
Tony's like, you've all I've got. And she's like, yeah, well, you've all I got too. All that soppy stuff,
Yep.
So then Pepper goes into Amy's office and plugs in the thumb drive. And she comes across a video, doesn't she?
Yeah. Yes.
So she comes across the terrorist video with like Tony hostage and them making a deal or whatever, all that bullshit.
And then it zooms out to...
So initially, I don't think Obi was working with the terrorists. So I don't think it was Obi's plan to kidnap him. But obviously, Obi sees the video and then they sort of make a deal, I guess. This is all...
I don't know what I see. I kind of took it as
I did too.
Obi produced the film.
That's what I thought too. But what they say in it is like, give us something or we'll kill Tony. Like, I don't know what the something was. I can't remember. But just what was said in the video made me think otherwise.
Ah, okay.
So if you played back just that video later and look at it, I don't know. There's sort of a mixed message going on there.
So So maybe they got the. Oh, okay, yeah.
And then Amy's gone, oh, this is perfect. Now that you're kidnapped,
Maybe
this all works perfectly. And then,
Now we'll start selling you weapons.
yeah, so that somehow that video means they're working together. And then Amy walks into the office
Yeah.
because he noticed
And
something
this
was
is-
wrong with the computer.
This is where I wrote the note about Gwyneth Paltrow being a great actress. Like this
Yeah.
whole scene where she's like hesitant and worried, but she's also trying to play it calm and cool. But yeah, it just come off so like well done.
Yeah,
Because obviously Obadiah is a big man.
quite intimidating, yes. Could you
Yeah.
imagine meeting someone like that in real life? That would be,
Ugh.
could be threatening, you know?
It'd feel it for sure.
So she walks out the office. Amy's very suspicious, walks over to the computer, and he goes, oh, fuck. She's like hacked it. It shows files transferred written on the screen, and she's like, oh,
Yeah.
fuck. Oh, shit. And then he's like, tells his troops to go get her and go find her and whatever. So while she's walking out, though, the guy from
Yep.
S.H.I.E.L.D. walks up and comes up to her. She's like, yep, you're coming with me. Yep, you're coming with me, and I've got a good story for you.
Yeah, exactly. She's gonna reveal it now.
And then this goes to Obi. He goes to his scientist downstairs or wherever. That's
Yeah.
them, I reckon. He's like, hurry up. Why haven't
believe
you
so.
built this yet? Why can't you
Yep.
work out this arc reactor? And the scientist is like, I'm not Tony. I can't. I'm not Tony.
Yeah, that's right.
I'm not Stark. I don't know. I can't build this shit. So that, obviously, because they can't make it, well, they need to go and get one, don't they?
Well, now exactly. Now they have to. Now Obi has to find a way.
So that's when we cut to Tony at home and Obi comes over.
And now, obviously, we don't trust him because of his
we know.
the scene couple prior where he used it on that terrorist.
Yeah. Oh, yes. That's a good... I didn't think about that. Yeah. Because he uses that ultrasonic on Tony and then paralyzes him.
On the terror. Yeah, exactly.
Yeah.
Exactly.
And then he rips out Tony's arc reactor and he's like, I'll have that.
And Tony's getting all pale and like
Yeah.
dying and
Yeah,
yep.
he's going to cardiac arrest. All that shit, because obviously you saw when... so that's good though, because that's when Pepper switched out the one for the new one. So you saw that without it, he's not well, don't they?
Oh yeah, yes.
So that
Yep,
leads
they
up
do
to
show that.
now. And now you understand why he's not well after Obi takes it out.
Yeah, and it's not
it's all
long
connected.
after either.
It's all connected in the words of Dirk Gently. Everything's connected. And so also Obi threatens Pepper to Tony's face. He's like, oh, well, I'll kill her as well. He's like, I'm sorry it came to this, but she's going to have to go too.
Yes, yeah, and that can't be a fun thing to
no.
hear while being paralyzed.
And Obi says it in such a way that it's your fault that she's dying, Tony.
Mm-hmm.
So
Because like he didn't give up the arc reactor earlier for them to study or some weird thing.
this is where I wrote a note. I was like, well, good thing Pepper kept the old arc reactor
Yeah,
downstairs.
yeah. Obviously, the old one's coming back into play soon, doesn't it?
Yeah.
Why didn't he just steal? Why couldn't he have just stolen that one?
He didn't know. That's why he didn't know.
Obviously, yeah.
Which is good for Tony.
Perfect.
Yeah.
In the nick of time,
It's
too.
like they almost wrote that on purpose.
Yeah, it's almost like this is a story created for our pleasure.
It's funny, isn't it? I thought this was a documentary based on a true story.
Wait, this
No?
isn't? This isn't?
No, what? Dragons are real?
Ah. How
Yeah.
much more fun would life be? How like
Dragons.
crazy and fantastical. Yeah.
Imagine if we had all this stuff. That'd be so cool. That'd be a world that I would want to live in. Can we go there? Where is this?
I
Where's
guess
this-
that's why like Iron Man is so popular because it's not like
So
special
fantastical.
powers. It's like
Yeah.
it's just
earned
throw
it.
enough money at it and it'll be.
It is true. Like, if you got enough money, you can build custom cars, custom house, anything you want. Like, this is possible.
So, yeah.
But I don't see
Eventually,
why.
yeah.
But obviously, you can't make a suit because materials are heavy and you can't make the power to weight ratio and all that stuff because of physics. But we should be able to do something similar.
Yeah, definitely.
Like
I'm sure we'll
they've
get
already
to.
got like prosthetic suits that help you in the workshop or like when you lift a lot of stuff, they got things that help you lift.
Yeah, to take the strain on
Yeah,
it.
to help take some of the weight off you.
So definitely we'll be working on, that'll be coming. Surely personalised suits.
Yeah. So Pepper calls up Rhodey on the phone while she's driving back to Tony. Or no, she's driving back to the science lab with the shield dude, Agent whatever his name is.
Agent, goddamn, I just 𝗠𝗿𝗙𝗙.
So then she rings up Rhodey and she's like, "Can you go check on Tony? Because I think Obi's trying to kill him."
Yeah, yep. And that's where isn't Tony?
Tony's
there's
downstairs.
like a snippet of him. Yeah, he's
so
like
Tony
crawling.
crawls down the stairs, goes to the bench where the thing is up on the bench, the old arc reactor, and he collapses. He can't reach it.
Yep.
And then good old what's the robot called? Butterfingers.
Butterfingers. Thank you. Yeah,
Butterfingers picks up the cube and gives it to Tony. The first time that robot did something right.
Wait, is it as simple as that?
Yeah, because Tony's got his back against the.
Does he pass it to him?
Tony's got his back against the shelf.
The cabinet.
The cabinet, and then you see the robot arm come down into view with holding
Oh, he is holding it. I don't know. For some reason, my memory thought he just knocked it off and broke the casing.
No. He holds it. And then Tony can still lift his arm up and pushes it over the robot and smashes it to the ground.
Okay.
Yeah, and then I wrote down the robot finally does something right.
Finally.
We'll keep him there. Now, I just noticed in my notes here that I wrote the wrong right. I wrote WRITE. Isn't that right as in writing a note? Like writing?
Wait, did you go WRITE?
Yes.
Yeah, writing as in writing notes.
I
meant not as in RIGHT.
Yeah, that's I have no
That's
idea.
you being petty again, mate.
No idea why I did that.
It's all right. It's no rights.
So then we cut to Obi with the arc reactor at the new suit.
Yeah, arc reactor at the new suit. Pepper Potts and bloody Agent Coulson breaking in.
Yeah, I thought to myself when they showed Obi up, and I'm like, obviously he's gonna get in it.
Well,
that's a given. So then the shield guys arrive.
So Pepper Potts, her bloody key card doesn't work. And she's like, what? She scans it a few times and then Agent Coulson pulls out a little thing, sticks it on there, and she's like, oh, what is that? Is that going to hack it for us? Is that going to get us in there? Yeah, is that going to pick the lock? And he's like, you may want to stand back a little bit. They don't even stand that far back. Did you notice?
No,
they stand they're like 2 meters away.
Yeah, but that's probably okay. Like, it's a shaped depth, like shape charge.
It's made to go in that way.
Not back out.
Come out.
Yeah, still. Then they go in and it's all dark and all the lights are out, and they find the old Tony's first prototype suit and they're standing at it, looking at it like, oh, here it is. And Pepper's like, I thought it would be bigger. I thought it would be bigger than that.
Yeah.
And then it cuts back to Tony with Rhodey suiting up. Tony's getting his suit on, and Tony flies off. And then Rhodes,
is that when?
That's when Rhodes.
Yeah, when he goes past the plain silver one.
Yeah.
And he walks past it and he's like, aha, maybe next time or not till next time or something along those lines. Giving you a hint. Yep,
yeah,
exactly.
There might be a sequel.
Might be.
And that's exactly what happens.
Little did we know there will be bloody, essentially there's 24 sequels of this.
But also, Iron Man 2 is the exact plot of Iron Man 2. Is Rhodes.
Oh, yeah. What did they call him? The American or
something like Patriot, the Iron Patriot.
The Iron Patriot, thank you. Yeah, that's right. Anyway.
How more American can you get? You've got like American flag and
stupid.
So Rhodes is maybe next time.
Yep. And I mean, and this is where we enter into the epic Iron Man battle, isn't it? Essentially,
just before that, they cut back to Pepper looking at the thing, and then Obi comes
then
online.
Obi wakes up.
Just like causes chaos. Pepper's running out the door, trying to get away. which she does. She gets upstairs or wherever she gets out. And then we get the ultimate that we've all been waiting for, the big boss fight.
The Clash of the Titans, yep.
Yeah, and while Tony's flying to get to the fight, Jarvis is like, the old reactor wasn't designed for this kind of sustained flight. It's not sufficient, you know?
Yeah, giving him a hint, helping him out. Something that'll...
Yeah, which comes into play a bit later. Because obviously... Yeah,
not that far off, it's in 2 seconds.
Yeah, he's draining too much power for the arc reactor. So then, yeah, we get the boss fight. They fight for a bit.
Then they fly.
Then they take flight.
And the comparison between Iron Man's flight, like it's like a nice, quick little tiny missile, like, and then there's the comparison to bloody, yeah, exactly. It's a big ass bloody,
NASA rocket.
It's a spaceship.
Yeah, it's like NASA's bloody giant spaceship taking off
to get
Delta
to them.
Heavy.
Yeah, exactly.
The Delta Heavy, they call it.
Okay.
Taking off, whereas once they get going, it's all right. Just all
puts
that
off
inertia.
a hell of a smoke screen underneath.
Pollution. And so Tony straight away is like, take me to max altitude. Let's go. Let's get up there.
Let's keep going and going.
Because you know what happens when that happens.
Well, he already knows.
Not for Tony anymore, because Tony fixed it. But Obi, he's not as reckless as Tony. He didn't try that, did he?
No.
Testing. So, yeah, they go up and Obi starts to ice up. And Obi's like, I've got you. Got nowhere else to go, Tony. That's it. You're dead. And then his suit shuts off. And then, obviously, Obi falls back down. They start
free-falling.
Yeah, Obi does. And then, at the same time, Tony's suit ran out of power. And he goes to backup.
Okay.
And Jarvis is like, we're on backup power now. And then he starts falling. Every now and then he gets bits of his flight, kicks in every couple seconds.
Yeah, it cuts in and out.
He's falling. Tony thinks he's beaten Obi at this point. Tony thinks he's won.
Yeah, he thinks that's it, that he's going to fall down to his death.
Yeah. So Tony lands on the roof. He's taken off bits of his suit, takes one of his arms off. Does he throw the helmet off, or is that already off?
No, Obi rips it off his face.
Yeah, earlier. Or was it then?
Oh, yes. No, then it's off now. Yeah, no, it's just off.
So, yeah, and he's taken one of his arms off, and then Obi, still alive, not dead, wakes up and does he grab Tony?
He grabs him and like throws him, doesn't he?
Yeah, he grabs Tony. No, and then Tony grabs the wiring on the back of his suit.
Yeah, and fucks shit up. Yeah.
Tears out the weapons targeting system.
Yeah, so he can't like see properly, isn't that right? Yeah.
Yeah, and then Obi opens his helmet so he can see.
Yeah.
And then that's when Tony gets Pepper to help.
So obviously, because he's like hanging over this window type thing, isn't he? This roof window there, like a skylight.
Above the arc reactor, the big one.
Yeah.
The building size.
And she's like saying, you told me to wait. And he's like screaming at her, bloody, do it now.
Press the button, blow the reactor.
Yeah. And like he's in the way that like, I just want to know how he survives.
So initially he told Pepper, he's like, I'll wait till I get out of the way and then press the button. And now obviously Tony can't get away. So Tony's now in sacrifice mode. I want to save Pepper.
Exactly. Save the world. Save Pepper.
No, not the world, just Pepper.
Well, I guess, maybe he's not
selfish.
He's not selfless. Yeah, he's not that selfless.
just enough to save Pepper.
Yeah.
And so he's hanging there. He's like, press it. She presses it. So then it blows up, right? So the energy blast, it throws Tony back up into the side.
Okay.
So I don't know how. I'm trying to work out in my head. I'm like the angles, the physics. I don't know if that would happen.
And also the energy blast, that would have just evaporated him. You know what I
mean? Because it still hit him, just shot him out the way. And then Obi, why did it do the same to Obi? But anyway, so Obi's still not there frying like a get electrocuted. Lightning bolts everywhere. And then, of course, there's this giant energy blast up into space. Isn't there?
There's no.
Yeah, because it blows up and you see, they zoom back out a bit and you see the energy blast shooting a beam of light straight up into the sky.
Oh, yeah, of the original arc reactor going boom,
up
like a beacon. Yeah.
Which comes into play in later MCU episodes.
Yes, indeed.
That explosion. So, then that happens. And now Tony has won. Tony has beaten Obi, he's still
Oh,
alive.
sorry. Oh, I feel like I'm about to sneeze. I'm sorry.
Yeah, that's right.
Oh, and it disappeared. Oh, what the fuck? It's like as me mentioning it. Anyway, sorry. Let's get back to it. Yeah.
So Tony's won. And
Yeah, he won that battle.
so we think he's dead, or Pepper does. She thinks he's
Yeah.
dead, and but he survived when she finds him, and everyone's happy, and they kiss and all that crap. And he's like,
And then
hang on,
they-
I'm going to get my suit off. It's about to run out of power.
And then what's then they don't they have the press conference or something, don't they? Yeah. Yeah. And he's and now he's working with Shield. Shield has worked out a perfect alibi, a good just read from the cards.
Yeah,
just read from the cards,
just
Tony.
read
Tony,
the
just
cards.
read the cards.
Read the
Exactly.
fucking cards.
Exactly. They said that 17 times just so we knew that he definitely wasn't going to.
Yeah, because Tony, why would he read the fucking cards?
Yeah.
He started to.
Yeah, he did. He started with it, and then one of the journalists asked him like, are we just meant to believe this? Like, what do you mean that it just so happened to be a bodyguard in a suit, whatever? And he's like,
Tony's like, what, you think I'm a superhero? Like, come on, you think I'm a superhero in a suit? And she's like, no one said that.
well, I mean, that's what I would call it. That's essentially.
The reporter's like, no one said that. Why'd you say that? Like, all, detective like.
Yep. And he,
so Tony starts reading the script and he's like, nah, fuck that, I'm
he's
going
like,
to tell the
fuck
truth.
this. Exactly.
First time he's truthful.
And as he says it, he's like, I am Iron Man.
Yeah.
And like the crowd erupts, the pictures get taken, and it cuts into
Like photos on the paper and
yeah, but it
newspaper.
plays the song. It plays the song Iron Man by Black
oh
Sabbath.
yeah.
The like one of the first things you ever learn if you learn guitar. It's just that I thought that was awesome. It opens up with a sick song, closes out with a sick song. I thought that was good. And obviously, we should get into the. There's a short little after credits scene in there.
Yep. I'll let you do it.
So, well, I mean, it's quite a short one. We introduces. It's the first time we meet Samuel L. Jackson as Nick Fury, doesn't it?
Tony returns home.
Yep.
It's all dark. Someone's already in there. Hacked the doors. Jarvis isn't working properly.
Yeah, something's wrong.
Yeah, and Tony's like, "Who are you?" And he's like, "I'm Nick Fury, director of Shield."
Yeah, Shield, not the other one, not the strategic blah 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 blah.
No.
But Shield.
Samuel L. Jackson,
Yep.
Nick Fury, with his eye patch. And he says, "I'm here to talk about the Avengers Initiative." And then that's it. Cuts back to credits.
And bam, that's how we first
finishes.
get revealed that the Avengers is a possibility.
Yeah. In the very
That's awesome.
first MCU movie, technically. Isn't
Isn't
it?
that weird?
I mean, technically,
Do you reckon
The
they knew?
Hulk
Do you reckon
was
they knew,
before
like
that.
when making the? Yeah, but no. But this was the MCU
this
first
is
movie.
MCU
This was
first.
yeah. So do you reckon they knew then that there was going to be this deeper, like maybe not 25, but do you reckon they had 10 movies planned when they had this movie out?
You'd think at least. Yeah, I think so. Because
Right now,
all the
man,
characters that are in the Avengers, they would have had to have known who was going to be, or at least briefly
and also,
know.
like, you know what they're
for-
like right now. They've already got the next 15 movies planned. Like
Yeah.
that's where they're at now. But at this time, I
I
wonder
mean,
if they were.
it's a bit upsetting that COVID has fucked up that timeline, but what can you do? Still in the plan. Still going to happen.
Who knows? You know what? It might be a bonus because
might make it better.
maybe they'll hold off on production and they'll spend more time in writing and designing and stuff.
And CGI, they might do better.
Yes,
Better
exactly.
than Black
Yep.
Panther.
And
They
unfortunately,
didn't
the
have
only
enough time.
things like fucking Black Panther.
They didn't have enough time.
That's bullshit, man. Because like you can see, how well it looks. Like they're zooming over the landscape, but then there's the final the battle
Yeah, they
with
rushed
Black
that.
Panther, and it looked like dog shit.
Yeah, I watched the whole thing about that YouTube
I think we
channel
talked
spoke
about this.
Yeah.
Yeah, you told me. Yep.
What's that called?
Corridor Digital.
Corridor Digital. They did talked
But
about
they've
the
got a
effects.
secondary channel.
Yeah, they talked about the effects and they attributed it to that's towards the end of the movie and they've got a time frame to bring it to So they just sort of rushed it. That's what they contributed to. Because there's no excuse apart from that.
Apart from rushing, you're right.
Because you're just like, we're going to get it out. It's all about that money, and that's the time we're going to release it,
Yeah, exactly. We've got a release date already released, so let's make sure we're on time or whatever. And you just rush into it and ignore quality. You go for quantity.
Yeah, well, you've got to get something out, so... Because they're very strict, like, they plan months. They know exactly when they want to release it to make the maximum amount of money, they got all these... Otherwise, it's wait like months to do it again. Because you can't do it at Christmas time, this, that, and the other. You've got to have certain times to maximise profit.
Alrighty. Well, I think... no, you're right on that. Yeah, I was about to say, let's head into our overall. Do you got any overall notes? And then take us away with your rating on this. I thought it might be good. Do you want to try, when you give your rating, do you want to try and give a then rating for like what you remember you would have rated it back when you first watched it, and give it a now rating? Is that if it has changed? I just thought we'd go with that.
That sounds good. Yeah, all right. So overall, I just love Iron Man. It's so good.
Oh, I know, right? It's the first of it,
And Robert Downey Jr. He's one of my favourite actors. He's fantastic. He's got a great sense of humour. Just I connect with that.
And his delivery, I get you. I'm with you all aboard. Like Sherlock Holmes and everything. Yes, yep.
It's just so this was just a great movie. Very, very nostalgic. Brings back old memories. First time we saw it. I mean, it's a gigantic budget movie, so 140 million. That's pretty big at that time.
Oh, jeez, that's so big.
Bit low on today's MCU releases,
but talking about the other movies we've talked about in the podcast or the practice eps, that's massive still.
Yeah, so there's nothing wrong with obviously the camera work. It's perfect. The colour, perfect. The acting.
Yeah, it looked vibrant.
Acting was fantastic. Couldn't floor it.
Fantastic. Yes.
Obviously the music, very metal orientated. Iron Man after all.
I feel like exactly. Yep. Yeah.
And it was still well placed. Like it's
and it wasn't like it was like metal like radio metal. I think would be a better way. Yeah. Absolutely.
Black Sabbath. That kind of sound. They didn't use music often. They just
no.
metal.
I could only pinpoint maybe 3 songs in the movie.
And the first one was okay because they played the Back in Black and they cut to him listening on the radio.
Yeah.
So I don't mind when they do
together.
that. Yeah. I like it when they do that. And they fade the quality down because obviously it's not going to sound great recording a player. I love it when they do stuff like that.
Yeah, they like so, and they like it's like they know you're watching a movie, but they also don't want you to be pulled out of the experience of watching the movie. So I think that
the pacing was good. I mean, it's long, but I don't know what you do to fix that, and it goes quickly.
I didn't feel like there was any time that was dragging. So you're right.
No, there was nothing dragging, but it was a long movie. So I mean, I think back then it would have been 10 out of 10.
10 out of 10. I agree with you. I was just waiting for you. I agree.
But today's rating, because I've seen other movies and I know better, I would still pretty high. I'd give it a 9 out of 10.
I completely agree. I share both of those ratings.
Yeah.
The only thing for me that was bringing it down from a 10 to a 9 in this viewing was the fact that I kept noticing that I wish it was, made more for older audiences. That's the only thing. They're the things
more
that I keep pointing out. But I think that's just because that's what I look for. But
you're right though, because when you punch a person in a suit like that, they're just going to punch a hole straight through them. There's going to be blood. There's going to be meaty chunks. It's going to be disgusting.
I know exactly. You're exactly right. And I kept noticing that they would the camera would pan away before they would shoot the bad guys, or they would he would hit them, but there wouldn't be blood.
They'd just fly across the room, or
exactly. Like
they shouldn't fly across the room. Just punch
only
things
like that. And I feel like they only put them in just to keep it as a fun comic book movie. And I get it. I understand.
And you wanna
So that's
keep-
my only downfall.
But obviously it's M-rated, so they want to get the teenagers to like it. They
Yeah.
don't want it to be MA.
Yeah.
They want, this is the market they're aiming for, because teenage
They
adults.
wouldn't dare make it M15.
No, because,
I wish they would, but they wouldn't.
No.
They just wouldn't.
yeah, I mean, even R-rated would be cool.
Oh, that would be that'd be the
blood
aim.
And, like Logan.
Logan, yeah.
X-Men.
Yep. Dark,
That's-
like heavy, you know what I mean? Like there was, because the problem with like an R18, there's people who would see that rating and go, oh, I'm not watching that gross bit, but it's
I
not
mean,
R-rated
yeah.
throughout the whole film.
No.
There's three scenes in the film which make it an R rating, but without those 3 scenes, it would make it feel like it's made for babies.
And
So
not,
like,
and not necessarily sex scenes. They could be
no. Yeah,
anything,
we're not.
like, just language, blood.
They don't need to
gore.
put sex in films anymore. We've got the internet, all right? It's all good.
Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah, any other notes you got on that? Why did you pull it down? Similar to that?
Just because I don't know, I think there's better. There are movies that I would give 10 out of 10 that would
Yes.
be better
Yep.
than this. Not that this isn't good, but this is fantastic.
let's be honest. 9
still
is
a 9.
still a fantastic.
It's just, if
That
I give
is
a 10 out of
amazing.
10, if I give a 10 out of 10, that means there's nothing better.
Yeah.
So if I've got something better in mind, which there are better movies I've seen, to me personally,
Doctor Strange.
Doctor Strange, or even that new Tenet.
Well,
that
I'm
was
guessing
fantastic.
you may change that. In a
might
reviewing of
change
that, we
again.
may drop that down. Yeah, no, you're right. You're right. It might change again. Yeah, absolutely. We are nothing but evolving.
It's just I've got a couple of movies I would rate one higher than this.
Yep. No,
And
fair.
so, yeah.
That's fair.
And I also had like the budget, 140 million. They made 585 million. Ridiculous numbers. Can I just have
These are
one of
numbers you
those?
can't comprehend.
Can I just have one?
Oh, you know
give
what?
me-
How about half of one?
Just a half, yeah. You won't even notice. So, yeah, 9 out of 10.
Yeah, 9 out of 10 from me as well. I loved it. It's nostalgic. It took me back to us going to the movies, waiting for the movie to get released and then buying tickets, and we'd go down there and watch it.
Yeah.
It was one of those. And viewing it, it was good because I watched it last night and I turned it up loud. I ordered dinner, so I didn't have to tend to the oven or anything. I didn't have to I wasn't taken away from it. So it was such a good experience.
Yeah, I had all the surround sound and
Yep, exactly.
speakers and subwoofers, and I had all cranked it up.
I opened up the copy I had last night. I'm like, oh, it's only 1.8 gig. Nah. Downloading another one. Nah. Downloading. I'm like, I'm not wasting my time. So, yeah.
I own the Blu-ray, and I also have ripped it. Because I feel like if I own it, I should have the right to watch it where I want. So I ripped it, and so I've got that Blu-ray quality.
Yep.
Awesome surround sound.
Surround
the
sound kind of
blinds.
makes it.
I watched it during the day, so I closed all the blinds. Felt like a mushroom. I had the surround sound, all going. It was good. Very
That's
good.
awesome.
Obviously, I had to pause it to take notes and stuff.
Yeah, that's how we do it.
I didn't enjoy it as it was more of like this is a note-taking time than actually watching it for just watching it.
Just for watching
it's a different, It's a different experience.
Oh yeah, you're in a different mode. Yep.
Yeah, I'm more critical. I'm not just So yeah.
All
right. I think.
Alrighty, guys. Yeah, I think that definitely that puts a bookend on it.
I don't think we're going to do a topic today. So if you're waiting for that,
I think that's
not happening.
To all of our incredible fans.
Yeah, but they just talk so much about this movie. So such a good movie.
It's because we loved it. Yep.
Yeah.
It's bloody because we loved it. Alrighty, guys. It was good talking to you, Stephen. Good talking to you guys.
Yeah,
Hope
you
you have
too.
a fantastic week.
Back next week.
Alrighty. Goodbye.